An old baseball saying, a bloop and a blast.
Bloop and a blast.
Bloop and a blast. Big Sexy, Luke Hughes.
Going back. This ball's back and gone in his first major league at bat. Luke Hughes hits a home run. What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Two Guys with Mustaches. Wait, that's not the name of the show, is it? It's coming along, though. I tell you what, it's Bloop and a blast. My name's Big Sexy. I am the Bloop. His name is Luke Hughes. He is the blast. He is the blast with a stash. No, not quite it. We'll get there. November's going along for you well, mate. Hey?
It is. What are we, 17 days in plus 2 days? I had a 2-day run-in to it, and I hate it.
Can you come a little bit closer to the screen for me? Just a touch. Oh, yeah, your light thing that we always struggle with. Just trim the lips a bit. I like it. Okay. You know, just get you got like a little shaver thing. Just get I just do it with the clippers every now and then, you know. Some blokes like it right over the lip. And I just think that just looks trashy. But that's okay. We're all getting there.
We are.
Mo advice.
Do you know the funny thing is my dad, I've never seen him without a mo. He's had it. I think the boys shaved it off on his Bucks party or the night before his wedding with my mother. And I think he's had it now for about 45 years straight.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
So I will not be having a stash for 45 straight years. This thing's coming off.
I don't know.
The one and only Singerling is getting married next week.
Yeah.
And I am in the bridal party, and I will not be wearing this on my top lip for the wedding.
For really? Okay. I don't know, man. It's look, I'll tell you this much. And this episode, we have not done an episode in 2 weeks. And the first thing we're going to spend 5 minutes talking about mustaches. But
I love it.
But I tell you what, I never thought I'd have a mo. I shaved one in one day, and I was like, oh, yeah. But the other problem is I'll go and make like a silly joke or like a stupid joke, and then I'll forget that I look like this when I first got it. And people will be like, dude, you're kind of wearing this creepy stash. What are you doing? Like, you can't be. So,
mate, you look good though.
Yeah, now it's normal, but I was always a beard guy. But anyways, I digress because like I said, we haven't actually had an episode in 2 weeks. I've been around, you've been around. We just couldn't make it work. We do apologize to our listeners because we love you guys. We are very sorry for that. But in those 2 weeks, man, like last weekend, we got the ABL. It's back. It's happening. It's all going on. I mean, first quick, I know we'll get into this later on because we do have a very special guest coming into the show for this episode, but first initial reactions on round one, very quick. Your thoughts, Luke?
A lot to unpack, right? A couple of crazy score lines, lots of runs scored, lots of new faces coming into the ABL playing, lots of young guys getting an opportunity, which I think is fantastic. Obviously, we're trying to learn the new imports. Every team's got new players. I have to give props to the broadcasting teams. I reckon touch base on that later. I did buy my subscription and paid the $70. And to be honest with you, I was really happy with the commentary, really happy with the uptick in quality to the broadcast as well. I definitely have to give everyone props for that. So might dive deeper into that later. But yeah, a lot of new faces clearly, and some great stat lines across the league. So hopefully we'll dive into that a little bit later in the show.
Also, my partner and I, we went to a heat game on, was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. We went, obviously, the doubleheader. And tell you what, I told this to the guys there that were on the ground, mate, it felt good, felt different. There was a vibe. There was a little buzz going on. It was really cool. So we will get into that later. But yeah, obviously, the ABL's here. It's happening. And I'm wearing my Bandits hat, right? So this is someone that we wanted to have on the show a couple of weeks ago. But, hey, I went to Bali. Look, I got Bali belly.
How was it for you? I've had it every single time I've been to Bali.
It was the worst. I got back on the Thursday. I was okay. And then Saturday night, it hit me. And I was texting Singy, my Resi's coach, and Dan, State League, and I just said, look, I wasn't playing State League, but I was just telling Dan because obviously he picks everyone. And I said, look, I should be all right, but I'm not real well. Sunday morning, I went down there and Singing just goes, get out of here.
Go home.
You're not sticking around at all. So I was like, damn. But thankfully, mate, I was in bed. I was watching the boys on Game Changer. And just a quick shout out to our mate here, just real quick before we do get our guest on. Because I wasn't in the lineup, the pitcher had to hit. Now, the young guy that started that game, you would know him, young southpaw, Riley Franklin. Came up and hit a grand slam at Swans. Some say it was a pop-up that got caught in a jet stream, but the scorers said a grand slam at Swans. So good things happen. Good things happen. I probably wouldn't have. I probably would have hit a grand slam there. So Frankie,
I did. I was ducked over to Perth.
You were there.
Real quick. I was back in Perth just for a brief few days. And did get to catch up with all the boys, which was fantastic. And I did go down there to Swan Districts and watch the second game of the doubleheader.
Right.
And how great it was that you weren't there. It was so good.
Everyone would have been like, "Oh, you went,
No, it was good to see all the boys.
Could have come over and put a moist towel on my forehead or something. That would have been nice.
Nah,
look after me, Jesus Christ.
I just brought a carton of beer for the boys after a double dip victory against Swans. So, it was great to see all the lads. And back again, actually.
Yeah?
Back again this week. So
watch this space. Maybe watch this space. We'll see. Let's try and make something happen behind me here. We might have a live episode. None of this Zoom stuff. But anyways, we'll talk about that. We have to get into it because we've got our guest is waiting to jump on the show. And, of course, it is none other than the Brisbane Bandits. I was going to call them the Brisbane Heat. What's going on in my head? It's been so long. I don't know what we're doing here. It's the Brisbane Bandits manager, Jim Bennett. He's about to jump on the show right now. Here we go. We have our very, very special guest, Jim Bennett. Welcome to the show, mate. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm here in Brizzy and I'm back home, so I'm in a good place.
You're quickly becoming one of my favourite guests, and to be fair, if I had it my way, Jimbo, maybe we just do our own podcast, just you and me, and we just talk baseball and what's going on because it's just too much fun whenever you're on the show, mate. But you are up in Brizzy now, and obviously we know about everything else, and the season started and all of that, and we will get into that because I know Hughesy's got a lot of questions, especially relating to his tab account. But we'll move on. Should I not say that? Should I not?
That's fine. No,
I don't know if that is. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. But I do have to ask, mate, how did we end up here? All right. I mean, obviously the Canberra Cavalry, parted ways with the ABL, which is a bit of a somber note considering you just won the Claxton Shield last year. How soon? Talk me through that process of coming back to Brisbane. I mean, was it just as easy as getting back? It's where you were. Was it that simple?
No, I mean it wasn't that simple. My plan from the get-go was to go to Canberra and stay in Canberra. I mean that I didn't go there to go for 1 year. So my intentions were to be in Canberra. I learned a lot. They did the best that they could. They took care of me. And obviously things worked out in the end as far as for the cavalry. But I did find out that there was the opportunity, and I wasn't personally convinced that there might be a team there next year. That's just bottom line for me. So with that in my mind,
back to Brisbane,
I had an opportunity to go back to my home away from home. Just because of, that doubt, I don't get overly involved and I don't have total knowledge of everything. But the way I thought things might go, I didn't see the team getting sold. And who knows, I could have been right, could have been wrong. It is what it is. But they did the best they could over there in Canberra.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that we were able to get a shield there. But now I'm back home, and I'm just excited to move forward.
Absolutely, and of course, it is exciting seeing you back with the Bandits this year, and having that. I mean, how's the adjustment been going back to Brisbane now? You've got so many new faces there for Brisbane, not only with new faces for Brisbane Bandits fans as far as Robbie Perkins and things like that, but also Ricks and Wingrove and a slew of other guys. How is that trying to bring all of that together?
I'll tell you what, as far as everything you just brought up, it's been great. It's just been a blast watching these guys come in and just feel a part of it right away. The difference for me, I mean, outside of Logan coming back, the difference for me is Pritchie's he's the vet of the position players, and I'm like, wait, he was just a puppy when I was around here. Like he was, so that part for me is different because you have the core group, with Logan and Soupy and Goofy and I can go on with all the guys that were there. They're all gone. This is a new crew, and so we're not going to try to be the old Brisbane Bandits. We're going to have our own identity and move forward.
It's important, isn't it, Jim, to, we always talk, and I love talking about culture, and I love talking about that right at the start of the ABL season and how teams come together and, how they bond. And, generally it's last minute that all the imports fly in, and it's something that you try to connect everybody together. And you're a great person at doing that. We know that, mate, and we know what you did obviously down in Canberra last year and in previous years back up in Brizzy, mate. So it's great that you identify the fact that, no, it's a new team, it's new bonds, it's a new culture. How are you going about connecting all the guys together, mate? How's that going for you?
I mean, that part is going great. And a big part of that for me is Sammy. Sammy Holland does an amazing job of bringing the boys in, making sure that they understand, hey, this is who we are. And you just follow along and you're going to do all right, So I think it does help in a way, not because of who I am, but the fact that I happen to be an American from the U.S. and I've been here for a long time. And as much as I'm still learning every year, I do understand a lot more than I did my first year when I was with you, So I understand the culture, and I know how important it is for the imports to buy into it. And so it's pretty easy for me just to go to them, hey, look, this is the way things are, and you're going to buy in. Mm-hmm. And the nice part was I didn't have to take that approach, but because the group of imports that we have, we got some young guys, but they're excited. They're so excited just to play baseball, to actually win games, as opposed to being in the minor leagues when come playoff time, guys are ready to go home, except the one guy that hit 400 and the guy had the 2 ERA. Everybody else ready to go home. I mean, that's reality in the minor leagues. So they're pretty excited to actually play baseball to win games.
Mate, I look at the roster construction, and we talked briefly off air about it, mate, and you do have quite a heavy Australian-based player roster currently, and, seeing some new faces up there, obviously ABL stalwarts, Ricks and Wingrove, Perko, seeing Wadey back, it's fantastic. How's the construction of the roster come about through the off season? And, talk us into a little bit more in depth around how you came to the decision of you are quite Australian based dominant, which, me, I love.
Yeah. I mean, that became pretty easy, as soon as, as soon as I knew Robbie was going to be coming over and Johnny and Matt Beattie. And then, when the Rickson situation came up, I was like, okay, let's just, I'll take as many Aussies as I can, as long as I have playing time for all my Aussie boys. I mean, that's what it came down to for me. Every time I'm bringing in another guy, I want to make sure, because there are certain Aussies that I'm like, he's getting his playing time. This is his year. This is his opportunity. And if there's one thing that I'm going to do, if I tell a guy he's getting playing time, he's going to get it. I don't care if he's 0 for 18. He's going to get it. He's going to get his opportunity. Now, come week 7, you can't play. You can't play. I mean, that's just life, and that's reality. But there's a few of these guys that I've let them know I'm excited, man. This is your chance to get a lot more games than you ever played. But then I start adding more Aussie guys, and I'm like, okay, I got to make sure and figure things out. Even with it worked out well because with Rickson, he wants to show that he can do more than play first base. He wants to, he's in a situation now where he's like, hey, I want to show that I can do. I'm an athlete, and I'll tell you what. I don't know if you've taken a look at him. Have you guys had a?
Yeah,
this is a different animal. Let's go.
I sent him a message. I sent him a message last week. It was a posted photo of him in the Brisbane outfit, and
that's what I saw too. Yeah,
I did make a little sneaky comment privately on Instagram to him. Said I'm proud of him. He looks great. So, and I'd see him floating around in right field. Probably just a few more fly balls out there this week, or is he going to be all right?
He'll be all right. We're going to work. We're going to work.
Yeah, course, mate.
And the beauty is he's all in. So
yeah,
I feel like I'm watching a guy that is just taking a huge step in his maturity level. It's like
agreed.
It's impressive, man. The one thing when I was talking to him on the phone and he says, "Yeah, I dropped so many kilos or whatever. I don't remember how it was." And I'm like, "Dude, you should have just told me you've been working out and you're feeling good." I can't argue with that. When I see you, I'm going to see you. He's like, "Yeah, I did. I really lost it." I'm like, "All right." I saw him, and I'm like, "Dang, dude,
yeah,
you're looking good, man. Looking good." So I'm so excited for him. He's in a good space mentally. So it's going to be good. Really good.
You know what I think? You know what I think's helped him, mate? And we had him on the podcast a few weeks ago, a month ago, and he has matured so much. And it's the coaching aspect of what he's doing now, which I think has accelerated, where he's at, right, with everything. And he's so passionate about coaching, and obviously he does stuff with Trent, with Legacy. And I feel that's had a huge uptick in his own development.
No, absolutely. I mean, anytime you go onto that coaching side and you see what it's like and you see what you can do for those younger kids, and I mean, it's absolutely that's been big for him.
Yeah.
Another guy that I've got to bring up, of course, I mean, hey, Hughesy loves it when I talk about Lismore, but young Will Riley there playing second base. So when you left, Jim, he was probably, not sort of maybe say platooning, splitting some time there, playing a bunch of different positions. Obviously, the end of last year, he gets hot, ends up being the team MVP for the Bandits. Gets a pretty good award there for them, and then starts it off with a pretty big game one homer. How's it? It's just so many of those story arcs for you to see for these like young guys now. Like it must just be sensational.
Yeah, the last time that I was really around Will, he's just coming out of college, and good athlete. Good, he's a baseball guy. He's a baseball player now. Just watching him play against us last year, I'm like, this guy's more than just some college kid coming out of college. This guy can play, and watching him every day right now. He's a guy, man. I love Will Riley out there. He's a baseball player that he's always going to get after it. He's always prepared. He's always ready. I mean, I'm excited to be around some of these guys that I hadn't known for. I didn't know them very well, but just being a part of it and seeing how they go about their business and a guy like Will, man, he's really coming into his own.
Yeah, it's exciting.
He's a hitter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess this is where you've got so many options with your defensive alignment with, George, as you know, really well from, in Canberra, Wadey, obviously coming back to the league, Fritchie, Max, like Rickson, like Perko, like you've Burnsy, like you've got so many Aussie players there, and I know for a fact they're all chomping at the bit to land on that national team, which I know that's I guess down the track thing, but you've got probably seven or eight guys, like position player wise, not even talking about the pitching staff yet, position player wise, that are just chomping at the bit for at bats. And I kind of put it in perspective where you think about it's like a minor league season where you're all best mates, but they all, at the end of the road there, it's like, no, I want to make the national team, and they're kind of in competition with kind of one another, right? So that must be pretty cool. I think it's cool. I've been
100%. It's amazing because it's a really healthy competition.
Yeah.
I don't see any bitterness. I don't see anybody hoping the other guy does bad like you would see in the minor leagues over there. I've got a bunch of guys that played a bunch of positions, and yes, absolutely, they're competing for something beyond here. They want to win the Shield, but come on, man, it's green and gold. Who doesn't want to be a part of that, especially when guys know man, I'm right on the edge. I got a shot. So this is definitely a fun year because of the WBC. It's fun how many guys that have an opportunity to be a part of this team. I mean, ultimately, there's some tough decisions going on. There's some tough decisions.
Right.
Which how great is that? How great is that?
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. That's
we also we talked
we
talked about this a month ago as well. Exactly, this was like, man, I reckon this is one of the toughest years ever to be able to select. I won't dive into the pitching too much yet, but the offensive side of things, I mean, there's a lot, right? So that's good luck with that, by the way.
I don't make the final decisions, pitching coach.
Don't call my phone. That's what you're saying. Don't call me. Don't call me. But mate, obviously the weekend didn't go to plan, I guess, for you or Brizzy. It's fine. But you came out with a massive win in Game 3. And how did the weekend go for you? And then I guess the staff. And what did you learn? I guess from it all.
I mean, the biggest thing to learn. I mean, I feel like I'm getting to know the Aussie boys pretty quickly, even the ones that I didn't know. That's coming pretty quick. Obviously, I've never seen the imports. I haven't even seen the guy that I brought in that's not an affiliated guy, but I know the guy that gave me his name. I was pretty confident, and I knew who I was getting with Tyler Jeans. But as far as I don't know these guys. It's not like I'm Tank and the Phillies are coming in and I know these boys, Okay, Royals, who you sending? And they tell me about them and you find out, and some years you're going to get fortunate and a little bit better than you. Ooh, this dude can play. Or you go, okay, hey, this guy needs to get better. But you see the tools. So it's all over the board and you just never know. But the fact that I've got some hungry players, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about these young kids that are coming from the minor leagues over there because they really are a good group of guys. I mean, it's going to, as far as I don't have one high maintenance import affiliated guy, which is a shocker. You usually got one or, that doesn't get it or doesn't understand what they're getting into because how can you? So it's going to be fun and exciting. But as far as this weekend, I mean, the opportunity that we get immediately, and I shared it with the guys, to me, adversity does not build character. It reveals it. What an opportunity right here. We got an opportunity to reveal who we are because I truly don't believe that adversity builds character. No, whatever your character is, it's going to reveal it. And it's going to show who you are, and it's going to show how you respond to those things. And so we've got a bunch of guys that, there's some guys, their first outings or whatever, obviously it didn't go the way they wanted to. So how do you respond to it? No matter if you put up good numbers, bad numbers, or indifferent, you're trying to get better, period. Period. Sometimes you could put up great numbers and, well, really, those numbers are a little bit better than what you actually did. So we need to get better. Or you did better than your numbers show. And that you've been in the game so long, you can have a good game as far as numbers wise. And you go, dude, I didn't even barrel a ball or whatever, or just the opposite. So it's just about getting better every day and knowing that we've got a plan. And I think the biggest thing, the fun part for me is I'm much less about working on mechanics and much more about talking baseball. How do you adjust during a game? How do you adjust mid at bat? How do you adjust mid pitch? And those are things that I don't think and it's not a rip on the players in the minor leagues, but I don't think that is being taught quite as much as it used to be. I think there's some old school things that are great because that's all we talked about. There's some new school things that are great because they've learned some things that we didn't have. And so to me, it's a mix. You bring in old school, which is how do you adjust, play the game, figure it out. Well, when you're in Australia, you get an opportunity, dude, figure it out.
Yeah.
And if you're being told every little thing, this is what you do. Here's your iPad. Look at the iPad, and it'll give you an answer. It doesn't give you an answer during a game. You know, during the game, you got to figure it out, and that's, to me, that's the fun part. That's the fun part.
Do you think the players? I mean, it's a different way of approaching a game, right? Down here in Australia, and as you said, they don't have all that data and all that information and all the metrics just being given to them day in, day out. Do you think they will sit back and be like, man, this is great. I'll just come out here, I'll play. Yeah, okay, work hard and do all the things right and get better. But it kind of feels like you kind of unleash them a little bit. And as you said, go figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm. No, these guys are excited about that, I think. I truly believe that they're excited that they just get to go out and play the game. You know, and, you know, the thought of, I'm on the other side of the world. I don't have the same types of things I got to worry about day in and day out. I can just be free and play. So, yeah, I do think especially if they've embraced it. Once they embrace this culture, once they embrace how we do things, they just are like, this is fun. They don't worry about it as much. So, I definitely think it's a huge plus. I think it's a relief for them. You know, it's that mentality. One of our players I've said, now that you have a few years of minor league baseball, you've learned a lot. Now let's go back to how you played in high school. Let's bring that old guy back, you know, because you lose that a little bit sometimes when you're in the minor leagues because you're taught to play a certain way. And over the years, they're going to be taught different ways as the game changes, evolves, goes back to the way it used to be. Some of it new, some of it old. It's always going to change. And so I don't, you know, I know some old school guys are going to be like, oh, these players, today's game, blah, blah, blah. Every player, no matter when I was young or guys who are playing now, you do what they tell you to do. that you know, how are you going to make the money in today's game? How are you going to make the money in the old school days? You know, you're always just you're following suit. That's okay. Well, all I knew is you pitched until your arm fell off. Well, if that's all these guys knew, that's what they do.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to go, he's not very tough. Come on, work through it. Well, we know more. We know how to, you know. Yeah. I mean, and then I could go back and say, well, I think sometimes we've taken a little bit too far too with the pitching, and it's become so velocity. Everything's about that. I think, well, maybe we need to get back a little bit and not hurt as many guys. Maybe we pushed it the limit too far. And it's obviously you can see the results of some of the guys that are getting hurt so much that, you know, I see marketing on Driveline that they've just decided that they've learned something new that location actually matters. And they've come up with this new tool to throw the ball where you want to throw. And it's not only about velocity. And I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, come on. But if you market well, it's going to go well. And they do a lot of good things. There's things I don't like what they do, but it's all good.
That was like in the towards the back half of the MLB season, Jimbo. They were talking about how Aroldis Chapman was having the stellar year that he had this late in his career, and the rumor was going around that basically someone had finally said to him, you know, like just try and like hit spots rather than just throwing 100 mile an hour. And he reckons no one had ever said that to him. I was like, there was a lot of, and like John Boy online was like, this is absolute BS. But there was a lot of like, it's like you didn't just say that to the media, did you? Like no one's told you to try and hit spots. Like what? Like, but yeah, who knows? Like I don't know. I'm just a fan, but far out.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Hey, Jim, give us a couple of names that, like, obviously with that roster that you've got there, we know that it's stacked full of guys that we're just like, this is awesome to see, all in one team. But give us a couple of names that we might not be looking at. A couple of names that might fly under the radar to watch.
Giving him his scouting report out.
Yeah,
he's keeping it quiet, keeping it close to his chest.
Don't have to
say anything.
Under the radar.
Yeah.
Well, I would say this guy wasn't under the radar before, but now after his first outing, now he might be back under the radar. Hayate Nakagawa is going to be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a beautiful thing that I know what I know about him, and I know who he is, and I know what he can do. So to have an outing like that he's never had in his life, I'm sure. I mean, it's hard to have an outing like that. So, I mean, that's you're going to tell me that, come on, he's not good enough? And, just knowing who he is, I mean, this guy, he's going to be so back on track. The beautiful part about it all for me is, and which is part of why I'm a huge fan of Japanese baseball. The game has become so individualized, especially in America and really all over the world. But, there's still that team aspect in Japan that I just love every time I watch it. And this is one of the biggest team guys in the world that, I don't know how many times he said sorry after his outing. And it was like, dude, you're good, man. We know who you are because of how you go about your business every day. And we know what you can do because I've seen it. He's going to be okay. So I guess he might be back under the radar now. So there's one for you. I mean, our closer that came in the game, Tyler Jeans, nobody knows him. He's an indie ball guy, and hearing what I heard from Chris Coast about him and what I've seen from him right now, pretty good.
Another guy.
Pretty good. So I think that's going to be fun to see how that goes for him.
And what about Fritchie, mate? Like you tossed him the ball and he just went out there and gave you an inning for you.
You know what? Fritchie,
it's still big, right? In a series of weekends.
And I forgot that he's been pitching club ball. He does really good. I mean, you got a guy coming out all different slots, throwing breaking balls. Like, come on, dude, look at you go. Fritchie's the ultimate team player. And he even understands it. We had a thing the other night at the gala, and somebody said something about him playing in 81 straight games, and I'm thinking, I've got 11 guys who are 11 everyday players, which is it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have. I said, Fritchie, that streak is not going to last. Just I'm giving you a heads up, dude. I want to be straight up with you. He's gonna get his playing time, but and I feel bad because I'm like, dude. I mean, you see him play defense. I mean, the guy catches everything, and I mean, and he's a beautiful human being. And but the second game, he didn't start the second game. Then I put him in, and I was like, dude, I just trying to keep your streak alive, bro. Like, he's awesome, man. He's and there's so many guys on our team I could talk about like that. That they're just, we got a quality group of guys, man. So it's gonna be fun. It's fun for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I mean, you're going to turn back around and go down to Sydney this weekend. So that's just in case you didn't get your fix of the Blue Sox. You're straight back down there. And of course, Perth and Adelaide are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But, it's exciting. So you get a pretty quick shot back at redemption to get one back on them. And mate, like I said, I mean, the other thing for me that I love is we can definitely say that we know that Jim's in Queensland. He's definitely in Brisbane because we're live right now in his hotel room with Jim and his aircon right behind him there. You would need it up there, mate. I tell you what, the humidity would be killing you. But we do appreciate you, mate. And is there anything other than that? Like obviously just a bounce back for the boys this weekend down in Sydney. Is there have you got anything for us? Give us something, you know.
I don't know what I have. I honestly, I'm really excited about this year. I'm pretty confident we'll probably most likely have a 6-team league next year. Saying that, don't think, a lot of people have their opinions, and sometimes I go on social media just to get a chuckle, but I love the fact that there's so many passionate people on one side and on the other. And that's a good thing for baseball. But having a 4-team league, this is going to be a strong league. Dude, we just brought over 3 or 4 starters, national team guys, all under one team.
Yeah.
That there's a huge positive about having 4 teams. Some people will say what they want. That's fine. That's the beauty of sports, and I hope more people have opinions. That's a good thing. But as far as the 4 teams, I love that we get to go play Sydney again. Now we actually have a little bit of a scouting report on some of these guys. We know them a little bit better after 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
All right, who's going to figure it out?
Yeah.
Hopefully we do over them. But then they're doing the same thing. They got an opportunity to see us. So I like that we can actually have a little bit more of a report on guys that you're going to see them a little bit more. So. I see that as a huge positive.
And the adjustments both ways with the players having to make when you do have that report, right? Like how you pitch them in the first series compared to the second, and so on and so forth as you move through the season. I mean, in the ABL, you generally don't get a chance to build a book on a especially in import, right? Okay, you might know your Aussie guys. We understand that. You see them all the time. But when imports come in, you're trying to work it out. You're trying to call some people to see if they know them and stuff. But you're going to have a book really quite thick on these guys by the end of the season. So these guys, talk about making some adjustments. They're going to have to.
I mean, typically by the time it's over, this guy hit 600 off us, and I think we got to figure it out now. But you don't see him anymore. So, or just the opposite. But no, I love that part of it because that's playing the game and that's making adjustments and that's figuring things out.
That's it. That. Well, mate, I'm excited and I love talking to you. It's always an absolute blast, mate. So thank you so much. I mean, I messaged you today and I said, "Hey Jim, any chance you could jump on with us?" And you go, "Absolutely, mate." And we really appreciate that, mate. So thank you so much for coming on the pod with us tonight. And hey, all the best for this season. And Hughesy definitely hopes that you win because he doesn't want to lose his little wager that we'll get into after this with you off the air. But
I'll stay away from that one.
We'll get into it a bit later. But no, we really do appreciate you jumping on the show, mate. And thanks for everything and best of luck for this year.
Anything I can do to help you guys, man. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, Jimmy. Love you, mate.
All right. See you guys.
There we go. It's always a good time talking to Jim. And the more and more I talk to him, I'm just like, damn, he's just awesome. So Jimbo, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us, mate. Always a good chat. And what a great guy. Let's dive back into what was round 1, of course, in the ABL here. We saw it. We saw a lot of things happening, but let's get into it. Let's start with the Sydney Blue Sox travelling up to Brisbane. Hughesy, of course. So game 1, 8-1 to the Blue Sox, which, I don't know, a lot of us just didn't see this sort of happening, especially in the first 2 games of this series. And, of course, the second game, there was a bit of a washout there. Third game was 18-5 to the Blue Sox. But they've turned it around and came back with a nice little 1-0 victory over the Blue Sox was the Bandits. So, and of course, I think here, 1 game was postponed altogether. That sounds about right. Yeah, so 3 games out of 4 were played. But no one really had Sydney coming out of the gates as hot as they did.
Well, mate, it's Brooke, right? He knows how to win, and they got after it, and they swung the bats really well and scored a lot of runs, right? I don't expect Brisbane for that to happen again this season. You heard Jimmy and, talking about some of the pitches and what he actually has. And I still think Brisbane will be 100% fine. Different ballpark down in Sydney as well coming into this weekend. Games can get away from you in Brisbane real quick. And obviously that's what happened. Give credit to, the Sydney Blue Sox for swinging the bats and putting the runs on the board and being menaces on the base paths. And that's the way Brooke likes to manage and construct his teams. And they're very aggressive, right? So they obviously jumped the gun there. But, when you see, the quality of pitching come out in that final game for them with Kennedy, with Sammy Holland. It's interesting to see how Jimmy goes about the pitching staff throughout like the rest of the season, right? With Johnny solely been used as a closer last season in Canberra, and obviously this year a little bit different. I know he's been starting games through winter and down here in Melbourne in the off season, as well as to start the year here in the summer league. So it'll be interesting to see how long they extend Kennedy out, and if he shuffles around and maybe he comes into one of the earlier games. But their imports will be fine. I don't see that happening to those guys again, and I do agree with what Jimmy said with the Japanese guys. They'll be fine. I'm not concerned there.
Yeah, there you go. And, of course, in the other series that happened, and again, this is sort of, to me, much as I love the Perth Heat, but seeing the first game, Perth Heat played Adelaide Giants here in Perth. The first game, I thought to myself, wow, what's happened? 13-0 in game one of that series to the Perth Heat, and 8-3 Perth Heat over Adelaide Giants in game two. But of course, Adelaide came back. Game three, I was there for that. That was pretty cool. Bit of a long one, bit of a extra innings and ties and all of this kind of stuff. 9-6 there, the Adelaide Giants got up. And of course, game four of that series, Adelaide Giants ended up coming back 4-1 over the Perth Heat. So it was a split, but I tell you what, like looking at it, I think game three got away from the Perth Heat. I think a few errors. The game that I watched, a few errors there sort of cost them, and then of course game four was what it was. But so the Heat and the Giants split there. Anything you saw, obviously watching at home, Luke?
Yeah, there was a few things, right? Like, I don't expect Jack O'Loughlin to go out there and give up those runs, again, for the rest of the season. Maybe, just getting back into it a little bit and, give credit to the Heat guys for swinging the bats really well in the first couple of games. It's got a lot of runs, through there. Tucker threw the ball really well game one. Didn't punch out a lot of guys, but, he threw it exactly where he wanted to throw it, most of the time throughout that outing too. So it was an interesting series where, that game three that you went to watch, I was tuning in to that game, and the Heat obviously had their opportunities. TVS gave him a chance, and while that was unfolding, I did jump on to the stats page because I was like, TVS doesn't pitch like this, and he had 5 walks the whole of last season, right? 5 walks the whole season. And, for him to go out there and have 7 walks, and you could see the frustration, slowly build on him. And, I'm not concerned about TVS. Velocity was still there and stuff like that. So he'll work it out and move forward, and he'll be fine too. But, when you get the opportunity in a game, I think there was some key at-bats there. Obviously, they did tie it up, but they had an opportunity to go ahead, and they didn't get the sack fly done and all that. But, one big hit there, and, the Heat walk away with that series, 3 out of 4. On the flip side of that, they walk away with a split too. So I think the Adelaide Giants will be pretty happy in the end to walk away with a split. Clearly they would. Very young team, a little bit different looking team this year for Adelaide.
Does look, that was one thing I noticed, like watching the game and like, not throwing shade. It was weird. It was just different. And whether it was without Rickson, right? But like not seeing him in that lineup, it just didn't necessarily make me think, oh, this is the Giants. Do you know what I mean? And I know he hasn't been there for like 10, 15 years, but it just looked like a completely different lineup to me, and it didn't have the same feel. And I mean, hey, they got it done. They split, right? But it's just, it's just something not quite right for me.
No, but the interesting thing is, and I give credit to the Adelaide Giants for doing this, they went out and announced where they're at, right? Like with all their injuries, and holy cow, they've got a few, which is obviously disappointing for them and Tank and all everyone that's involved. But I think there was like something like 15 players out, right? Which gives an opportunity to other teams. I'm just trying to pull up the article. I can't find it right now, but it was unbelievable, the amount of players that they were actually missing. So, look, they're going to be fine. They're going to be strong. Their second half, they've got a lot of ins coming in. So I think for them, it's just like steady the ship for the first bit. Some of these young guys are going to get an opportunity to play. And then the horses are going to come rolling in. Unfortunately for the Heat, they did walk away from that series with a couple of injuries, which isn't great. TK came out of a game wishing him well, and hopefully it's not as bad as what, it kind of looks. So we'll obviously find out a bit more information about that. And then, one of their key imports, Ryan Cermak, who came out guns a-blazing in the first game, was 2 for 2, and then unfortunately got hurt as well. So it doesn't look good for him. It doesn't look good for him either. I think he's, potentially on his way home as well. So, they're two probably huge outs for the Heat.
Oh, yeah. TK, that's waiting with bated breath. But Cermak, I heard a few guys talking about him. They were like, wow, he's legit. So that's a pretty two huge losses for the Perth Heat early on in the season.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just, you kind of look at it and go, who's going to replace TK? I don't know. Locally, if they bring someone else in, I know they've got a fair amount of position play imports as we speak. So whether Ryan gets replaced and what they do, in TK spot, does one of the other guys get an opportunity to play? We'll see. It's.
I don't really want to live in a world where we think about replacing TK. So let's just sort of hope for the best and wait until we get more news, and then when we have to live in that world, we will. How about that? There you go. Well, it's just
I like that.
I know. Yeah. That's pretty sad. But anyways, TK, hope you're doing well, mate. We're cheering for you to come back and keep crushing. But some positive news as well too. Alex Hall, 250 games for the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Probably got another 250 to go.
There you go.
If the league sticks around and we can continue to grow it and build it. He's starting to move around all over the place. He's catching. He's playing left field, play first base. He has added more elements to his game, similar to kind of what Rickson's trying to do a little bit. Just give a few more avenues. But I do like him behind the plate, to be honest with you. I do like him back there, and his bat plays, right? Maybe his bat plays even better when he's not catching. Who knows? We'll see what happens in so many games he ends up catching this year for the Heat. But the pressure's fortunately going to fall on his shoulders to be the guy, and to cover the load. And I might be giving him a call and to make sure he doesn't go too heavily on that, because he's won a Helms Award. He's done it, enough to prove that he's one of the top 5 to 10 players in the league. We'll see what happens this weekend. New series, obviously, as Jimmy said, that they know a little bit more about each other for the both series. We'll see what things the managers decide to change, if they tinker with a couple little things, maybe the pitching staff a little bit, to see what happens there. But I am looking forward to seeing Adelaide with the influx of players that they will have. I still think, I think when we spoke to Addo, he didn't really give us too much of the information. There's been a lot of information come out after that. They were able to sign the best bat in the country, and Robbie Glendenning, and he'll be out.
Correct. Since we've been gone.
Starting January. So, he was hunting for a home, and from
he's
all
found
reports,
one.
Was interested. Well, obviously very keen.
That's a good point. You mentioned that. You mentioned
was very.
Sorry, you go.
Stop talking.
Been so long.
So he obviously wanted to go back to Perth, and unfortunately they didn't have at bats there for him. I'll make that point, and we'll have him on here at some stage. He clearly wanted to be back there and be with his family and have an opportunity to play for the Heat again. And fortunately, that didn't play out, so he had to go find another opportunity to play elsewhere, and landed with the Giants. So I think that's huge. That's like the top 3 bat in the country, behind Curtis Mead, Travis Bazzana. There's Robbie Glendenning, right? So huge pickup for them. So he'll be down here, I think, January, somewhere around that, maybe end of December, January. So, good on them for picking that bat up. I would have signed him in a heartbeat, and he would slot really nice into their 3-hole for him.
Sorry, and sorry for interrupting you, Luke. I know that's on me here. Look, this is on me.
I want better. Be better.
That's my bad. It's just I'm just so excited still. We're back, But it's a good point. Like that's maybe the piece that in my head when I'm sitting there watching the Giants is like, where is it? You've got your J-Mac, you've got a few other guys, but it's like, but good point. Injuries, and of course, adding a guy like Robbie Glendenning bang, Giants are back on it. So that's fair. Do you want to do some
Eddie?
tips?
And Eddie's a big piece, I think, for that behind the dish too. So, I'm not, from what I read, was it last week, 2 weeks ago when Adelaide posted that, I think he was out for a couple of weeks. So, add him back into that lineup too, I think would be pretty good. But defensively for behind the plate for them for sure.
Gonna do some tips.
We didn't do tips last week.
Tips last week, yeah. What has this become? What have we become? Guess who's playing? It's the same teams. So it's Brisbane at Sydney, though. What are you thinking for the Bandits redemption arc? You reckon Jimbo can go down there and can sweep?
No. I feel the start of the year, it's like everyone's feeling each other out and everyone's adjusting to, the velocity. The Australians are adjusting to the velocity. Maybe they've played a handful of club games beforehand and, haven't probably faced the velocity that they're seeing more consistently in the ABL. So the bats are always generally a little bit behind. I know Sydney didn't. I think their bats were alive all weekend. Would they walk away? I think they had like a 330 batting average or something like that. So, I don't expect it, to be like that at a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. Completely chalk and cheese. You go from the smallest ballpark to the biggest ballpark in the ABL. So I don't expect to see those score lines. I expect it to be a lot tighter. I'm going to go 2-2 split. I just think early in the season, I know that's kind of sitting on the fence, but I really do think there's going to be a split there, and I think there'll be a split with the Giants and the Heat as well.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go, I agree with the 2-2 for Sydney and Brisbane, but I'm actually going to go and say Perth roll in with a 3-1. I think they can drop a game, right? Like, and not on that, but like just thinking, like, I personally think maybe last weekend Perth should have come out with a 3-1, but that third game they didn't quite get it done. So I'm going to go and say Perth 3-1 over Adelaide this weekend, and we both push on a 2-2. But that's my chance to get 1 point up on you early in this season. So there you go.
So that one more time. What do you got?
I'm going to say, are you scribing this year? That would be sick if you were taking notes.
I will. I will.
You won't.
I'll find some paper. I'll find some paper.
No, I'm going to say yes, 2-2, Bandits and Sydney. I agree. I think that's a thing. Would love to see Bandits come back with 3-1, but like reality, like Sydney, it's Sydney, right? Like we've got to remember. But also, 3-1 for the Perth Heat over the Adelaide Giants this weekend. Yeah.
You know what? Should we make a bet that you can't go splits because that's just shit.
But like it is what it is.
Can I go? No, I can't change it. No.
Why? You can change it. That's fair. We create the freaking rules, Luke.
Yeah.
So by the way, I think I won last year.
You did. I'm going to go. So I'm going to change. I'm going to go Brisbane 3-1 and then Perth Giants split.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you see the game. You see what we're doing.
Yeah. No, I was just going back thinking about it, and I know Brisbane didn't swing the bats that well, but I do think they've got some weapons in there. So I don't expect to see that again. So, I'll change it. Brizzy 3-1, Perth 8 Giants split. What else do we have in the cards quickly for?
What else do we have on the cards? Nothing for now. I think we've done a lot. The fact that we're back, it's like your first day back after holidays. You don't want to overdo it too much. Just, get
two things.
Okay.
Two things again. Three things actually.
Oh, here we go.
So one, yes, again, props to the broadcast. I think that was really, really well done. Definitely give credit to them. I know I was critical in a previous podcast talking about, okay, it's going to cost us. The quality better be better, and it was, right? And the commentary was better too. So I'll give props to both home clubs for, bringing in some people and doing it right, and the video and everything was great, right? So I'll definitely give props there. Second part to it is fans, get out and watch the game, support the teams. I know there's been a lot of changes with ownership models, and the first series is always tough. We're trying to obviously build momentum, and I know it was a little bit quiet leading into the season, but there's a lot of changes at Perth. New ownership there, new beer prices there. The beer prices are $8. I had to tell everyone that they were $14 a couple of years ago. So they've dropped it $6. So get down and support the
Tickets,
first at $8.
Tickets were $20 at the gate last year, right?
Yeah.
Now they're now $15. So we at $15, and I'm sure there's other areas. I think there is actually a cheaper area that you can get into with like no seats. You just walk around, whatever. But don't quote me on that. But check it out yourself. Go and look at the website, whatever. Yeah. But
so I did notice. Yeah, I did notice. That obviously, the fan numbers were down, and some people bashing them on the socials and all that stuff like that. I won't bash them. I'll just be like, look, get out there. It's new ownership in Sydney and obviously and in Perth, and the numbers were obviously quite down from previous years. So prices are dropped. It's cheaper to have a beer. Go out there and support your clubs. And that was the second thing. And the third thing was, hey, LA Dodgers fans out there.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't spoken since the Dodgers won the World Series.
Dodgers, are you kidding me with that series? Are you kidding me?
It was awesome. I watched Game 7 in a pool in Bali. And but anyways, that was awesome. But also, Luke, I've got to give you props. Dumper didn't win the MVP. Aaron Judge won it. Boo. Like, what a boring story. Who cares? But you were right. Congratulations. Awesome. That's awesome. Let's move on.
That's it.
Yeah, whatever. You were right. Good on you. Of course you were right. And everyone that came on was like, oh, what are you talking about? Of course it's going to be Aaron Judge. Well, it was. Okay, so congratulations. Good on you.
Just quickly, Yamamoto, superhero, just a superhero. I see all these cool videos that have popped up post World Series, and obviously cameras catch everything, and there's a bit of a narration that is talking about, hey, go down the bullpen, all that stuff like that, and he comes out, and you could not tell. Besides, he hit the first batter, could not tell that he pitched the night before. Like, that's so unbelievable. And I think there was probably one guy on the planet that could do it, and it's probably him. I don't think many guys could do that, and he wanted that opportunity. He wanted to be on the world stage. Game 7, like, unbelievable series. So now it's free agent time, end of season, and this is where, like, one of the other most I guess exciting times for me is like the trade deadline halfway through the year. There's the World Series finishes, and I just get on MLB trade rumors every morning, just check see if someone's signed. And I think Josh Naylor is just in agreement to sign with Seattle. Is the first probably big name to go. So I'll be watching that very closely too. So baseball's back, and looking forward to this season continue to grow.
There you go. And we appreciate you guys for listening. And here it is. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the socials at Bloop Blast Podcast on Instagram, on the Facebook. I always say that. It makes me sound like a really old man. And, of course, check out our YouTube channel at Bloop Blast Podcast. You'll see this show there. If you're watching us on Spotify now, that's cool. But if you want to go watch it over on YouTube, that's cool there. We've also got the State League show. It's also on there as well. And as you're rolling through your feed, maybe you're not watching the State League show. Go and watch it there. We appreciate that. But look, go and leave us a comment. Go on all of our new subscribers. We appreciate you guys because we're trying to build the YouTube. We're trying to do all of that. So we appreciate you guys for following along and helping us out. Anything you can do, like a post, share it, whatever. We love you guys for doing it. So thank you so much. We do have to announce something as far as a giveaway, Luke, because we're very, very, very close to our Instagram followers, but I won't do it to you. You've had a couple of weeks off. Yep.
We'll do it in that seat. We'll do
it next week. Okay. So Hughesy, when we're going to do one in person, Hughesy says we're going to announce what the 1K follower giveaway will be. So there you go, guys. Hughesy's on the clock. You got 1 week, mate. You got 1 week to work it out, and I can help, but chances are I probably won't. So there you go. That's awesome. We appreciate you guys so much for listening. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Hughesy? It's been so long since we've done a Bloop and a Blast. I don't know how to finish it. Do I finish it with something?
Adios, muchachosos. Adios, muchachosos. Adios, muchachosos. Adios, muchachosos.
Third time's the charm. We appreciate you guys. Take care. Peace.
It's an old baseball saying, a bloop and a blast.
Bloop and a blast. Bloop and a blast. Big Sexy, Luke Hughes.
Going back. This ball's back.